What the duck is up, everyone? Thank you for joining us for another episode of DuckTakes. As always, with me, my co-host Garrett.
Hey, everybody.
And today we're going to be reviewing. Garrett just dropped his phone.
I always drop something every time. It never fails.
So today we're going to be reviewing Captain America: Brave New World, the newest MCU movie out on the market right now. We finally get Anthony Mackie's Captain America, his first solo film as Captain America, or just in the MCU period, maybe almost of his career, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know. He doesn't have too many films where he's the lead, so this is a big moment for him.
That's true.
Captain America: Brave New World was one that definitely went through the ringer.
Yep.
Went through a lot of reshoots, went through a lot of changes in the script, was under some heat with some characters, was under some heat with some of the interviews. So, but despite everything that, this movie has gone through, it is doing well at the box office, grossing $192 million in its opening weekend on its $180 million budget. So still got a ways to go before it does break even. But that is, I believe,
it's a good sign.
Yeah, it's a good sign. And I'm glad people are going out to see Captain America: Brave New World.
Yeah, honestly, I was kind of surprised the amount of people that were in my theater.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
and I saw it a few days after.
Yeah. Well, we did. Is it gonna tank or bank? And I say bank.
I said bank.
I said bank. So I do think it will do well at the box office. I do think it will do better if it keeps getting a good audience review. It doesn't have the best critic review right now. I think around the 50% mark for Rotten Tomatoes.
It's been a little bit divisive of whether people like this movie or not. I feel like it's either I feel like people either really like it or they kind of say it's average.
However, I am glad to see that the audiences are enjoying it. I'm happy to see that it is doing well at the box office because, in a lot of interviews, you can really see how much this does mean to Anthony Mackie and how much he's just wanted people to go to the theaters and enjoy his film. This is his film now. And and he's been surprising people at the theaters as well. So,
honestly, with the way they're setting it up, it seems like they're trying to make him like the face of the new MCU and new Avengers. So,
yes,
because I feel like they were. Who was the original person they were trying to put in that role? It seemed like they were trying to put Captain Marvel in that role a little bit.
Or was it Doctor Strange?
I wouldn't even say Strange. I wouldn't say Strange.
I wouldn't want Strange to lead my team anyways. He's a little too
self-centered.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes sense. Technically,
at the end of the day, it's like a Captain America would be the right leader for an Avengers team.
Cap was the leader of the original Avengers. I mean, you could make the argument whether it was him or Tony, but as far as like a team morale type of thing, that was definitely more Cap versus Iron Man. He said it himself. He was like, oh no, he's the boss. I just pay for everything, design everything, and make everyone look cooler.
That's right. That's right. And as we've seen with Sam Wilson's Captain America, like he does, possess those characteristics that a Captain America would, and I think they've kind of gotten away from that on the back end, but we do kind of see that in Captain America or Winter Soldier, where they go through his backstory, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier definitely dives more into that.
Yeah.
And I think Falcon and Winter Soldier would be a little more interesting upon a rewatch.
I would enjoy a rewatch of Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, just to get a little more depth with Sam Wilson's Captain America, because Brave New World, I feel like, doesn't give him too much depth.
No. But
so, as we're on the topic of Brave New World, though, what were your initial thoughts walking out of the theater?
Pretty average movie. Like, I wasn't like, there was a few moments where like the action was like, some of the action was like really cool. Like I did think the fight between him and Red Hulk was cool, but I think I don't know. I feel like it was just missing some things that I would have liked to see.
What was it missing then?
Well, for one, I don't know. I wasn't totally in love with the portrayal of Red Hulk.
Okay.
That's
interesting.
Well, okay, so Red Hulk, like obviously, I guess it's just because he's different than what I normally see him as. For one, Red Hulk is not a raging monster. Like, don't get me wrong, he's got anger issues and everything, but General Ross can talk when he's in Hulk mode.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Red Hulk can talk.
Okay.
Didn't see that.
No. And it's funny because I feel like Marvel's pretty hell-bent on making their Hulks talk now.
Yeah. And so I thought it was strange. I mean, maybe they were trying to get us back to the, original, mindless Hulk that we love. But I'm like,
because everyone else was complaining about the talking Hulks.
Yes, they were. But at the same time, you also turned him into a Professor Hulk. And but this one, like, this is a character who actually can talk. So I mean, you can still make him like a badass, but at least give him a brain.
Yeah.
Like, because there could have been like a little bit of banter between him and Sam Wilson while they were fighting.
Mm-hmm.
So that was one thing that bugged me. I thought I was a little disappointed they didn't use the heat as like a factor in the fight, because that's another thing with Red Hulk. Is like the angrier he gets, the hotter he gets. That's like a big thing with him. Like that's like his biggest weakness. Like normally they're able to exploit that and beat him by getting him to overheat. That's like a big thing with Red Hulk, and we didn't see any of that either.
Right. I mean, this is our first interaction with Red Hulk, though.
I agree. So I was like, maybe they're saving that for later, because they did address the heat. Like if you notice that you can see like the ripples in the air of like the heat coming off him, and like his clothes burnt off of him when he transformed. So I was like, all right,
the
at
leaf
least
burning when he touched it.
Yeah. So I was like, at least they addressed it, but I would have liked to seen it play a factor in the fight at a certain point.
Okay.
I thought, honestly, I got a lot of comments on Red Hulk and Ross. Like, I would have liked to seen Ross be just like the bad guy.
Interesting.
I didn't I feel like when he was getting angry and getting intense, I was like, okay, I was liking seeing this come out of Harrison Ford. Like I thought those were some of the best scenes with him.
I thought Harrison Ford was the highlight of the movie.
I did like Harrison Ford a lot in this movie.
I liked what he did with Thaddeus Ross. I thought it gave Thaddeus Ross a little more depth than what we've seen in the past MCU movies.
Yeah, no, I 100% agree. I did like that they were showing this conflict within him of like, trying not to let out that monster and not. And I mean, I guess he did ultimately end up losing that conflict because Red Hulk ends up getting out. But at the same time, it's like he was remorseful for his actions versus like I would have liked to seen him just like accept it. Like that's what he wanted. He wanted to become Red Hulk. Like him becoming Red Hulk was not an accident. They made it an accident in this and in previous iterations. He does it to himself so he can just go out and beat the shit out of Hulk himself. That's what he wanted. He wanted to become this monster.
So they give him a lot more of a redeeming quality.
Yes. And I kind of like when he's just the bad guy. All I know is he's been the Avengers and Hulk's haters from day one. So I guess I would have liked to seen a little bit more of that hater come out of him.
Play his haters, Bull. I guess maybe we do need to see a little more haters in the MCU.
Yeah.
Did we get away from the haters?
Maybe. I don't know. It's just like, I feel like every villain these days, I feel like it always circles back to this. Like every villain has to have a redeeming quality. And I'm like, why can't we just get an asshole? And even with the leader, it's like his redeeming quality is like, he was subjugated to torture and da-da-da. It's like, obviously he's going to go insane after all that time. I'm like, yeah, you're valid. Like he's obviously going to have a grudge after, being made false promises for 16 years and, being kept in a basement. But I don't know. There's just something refreshing about a dude who just is evil.
Okay. So here are my initial thoughts. I walked out and again was, I guess you could say, underwhelmed.
That's a perfect word for it.
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it. I enjoyed myself.
Yeah.
Does that come out right? Yeah, I enjoyed myself in the theater. But at the end of the day, it is missing that emotional factor where I just can't really feel for it emotionally or like the characters. Like I think if they were to give Sam Wilson some more time, and we would have been to emotionally grab onto him, but it almost seemed like Jesus. It almost seemed like Ross was the main character at some points, you know? And there was a lot of characters that got a decent amount of screen time as opposed to our main guy. This is a Captain America movie,
I don't know. It seemed like, what was weird is like, I feel like a lot of things were just like established in this movie with no background to it. Like he had his sidekick dude, and I was like, who the fuck is this guy? And they're like,
from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Is he?
Yes.
When?
He is. In the first few episodes. Yeah, he is.
I barely remember him. And see, but that's the other problem with how interconnected this universe is. Yeah. It's like, you know, maybe I should have given Falcon and Winter Soldier a little bit of a rewatch before I came and watched this. Mm-hmm. That might have made me enjoy it more. But at the same time, it's like not everybody has time to do that. That's why the MCU has problems with their in-theater releases now. Is like everything is so interconnected. It's like you're missing key details. And like I told you earlier, the first 30 minutes of this movie literally just felt like it was a recap because we had to introduce these characters that we should technically already know if you had been watching, you know, the shows and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But it just feels redundant, and it's kind of annoying that we have to reintroduce characters for, you know, those watchers who aren't aware of who these people are.
Well, and it's funny you say that because our friend Alex Hack Guy, he was like, yeah, this is probably the most homework you would have to do for an MCU movie in a while. You know, this is a follow-up to from The Incredible Hulk in 2008 and characters from that movie.
That's the other thing. I'm like, bro, people don't even know who Thaddeus Ross is.
Some Marvel fans weren't even born when that shit came out.
I know.
Which is crazy to
dude,
think
I know.
about.
They're like, who the hell is the leader? Who's this brain dude? I genuinely thought they were just throwing that in the dumpster. I thought it was gone. I thought they were never going to touch on that again, and I would have been fine. I
know people were happy to see him return, like our friend Berto. But so there was the Incredible Hulk. There was the Falcon and Winter Soldier TV show. There was
Civil War. I feel like you needed to be aware of what happened. You needed to be aware of what happened in Civil War for
Agreed. This. Eternals.
Mm-hmm.
Eternals. So
yeah, there's a lot of homework for this movie.
Yeah, for sure. Which do you feel that though? I guess.
What do you mean?
Like I don't know. I feel like you can get away without doing all that homework though.
You probably can, but it's also
but maybe that's an issue. Maybe that's the issue is that because they are so focused on you don't have to do all this homework. Like, don't worry, we got you covered. So it kind of takes away from some of the things that they could improve on.
Yeah.
You know?
No, it's like screen time that they have to dedicate to keep people in the loop.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right.
Versus focusing on the story that they actually want to tell.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean,
so it's like there's positives and negatives to it. I feel like the interconnected universe was it was great in the beginning stages of the MCU because obviously, you know, you didn't have to watch like too much and you knew everything. But then now it's a lot of knowledge that you need to have going into the movies.
Yeah, for sure. Well, a pro, definitely Anthony Mackie as Captain America. I've never had an issue with him taking the mantle as Captain America.
Mm-mm. No,
I don't know. It came very organically. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know,
that was his right-hand man.
Yeah, exactly. And if Steve Rogers is going to tell you who Captain America, then you should probably listen to that.
Yeah.
So no, I really enjoyed Anthony Mackie as Captain America. And I mean, newsflash, he's been Captain America since Falcon and Winter Soldier. So it's like this isn't something we're getting used to, right? I mean, we've been used to it.
Yeah.
And yeah, I do think Harrison Ford was another big pro in Brave New World.
Yeah.
I liked his portrayal as Ross.
I did too. And it's like surprising to me that I did like it so much because, bro, Harrison Ford is hilarious when it comes to franchises because he doesn't care about anything.
No.
He doesn't care about
the lore.
Or anything. He doesn't care about Star Wars, does not care a single bit about Marvel. I don't know how serious he is when he says this, but he's like, I didn't know I was going to be red. He didn't know he was going to be red. I'm like, Harrison, my guy, did you do any character study before you stepped on set?
He loves Indiana Jones, though. He loves Indiana Jones.
What an asshole. No. Just like cannot get on board with Star Wars and Marvel.
No, honestly, I have grown so fond of his dry sense of humor during these interviews over like the last decade. I mean, I feel he's always had that dry sense of humor.
Yeah.
But like it's just gotten progressively worse and worse. And some of the interviews that I've seen, he's like, some interviewer was asking him, what did you know about the multiverse before going into this movie? And he's like, looking around like, is this guy fucking serious right now?
Had no idea what a Force ghost was or anything like that when he was being asked about Star Wars. He's clueless, and it's hilarious.
Clueless. But hey, I think he killed this role though.
No, I think he did very good at this role. I do want to talk about Sam's Captain America though.
Okay.
Just from like the logical side of my brain, can't ignore a lot of the stuff that happens. Like when he performs some of these superpowered feats where he's stopping like, you know, an extremely intense amount of force. Mm-hmm. And he has his backpack helping him out.
Wakandan technology. Okay. But at the end of the day, Sam is a dude. Yeah.
He does not have the serum.
Yeah.
And the reason I can't believe it is because I see him use the jetpack and he'll like stop an incredibly strong force. And like the whole thing is like he has the backpack. But I'm like, dude, if that was coming at you and you're a normal human being, the backpack would not help you stop it. It would push you into it and you get fucking squashed in between the backpack and whatever was coming at you. That's what would actually happen. I saw this happen in Falcon and Winter Soldier. It continues to happen in this. I'm like, Sam even says it himself. Just get this guy the fucking serum so I can stop complaining and he can do what Captain America needs to do. Like, I get that his whole thing is that he doesn't have the serum and they keep trying to make that a point. Like it's something it's a good thing, you know, like he's just a guy, but I'm like, he's going to get fucking murked if he's just a guy at a certain point. Like he is going to die. Like he cannot continue to be lawless he cannot continue to be flawless in every single fight and dodging every single critical hit that would end him immediately when he's fighting people like Red Hulk. Like there's going to be a mistake.
Okay.
And I get that they even address that in the hospital. He's like, I need to be on point because if I don't, you know, they're going to tell me I'm not enough or whatever. I can't remember the speech he gave, but people make mistakes. Captain America, he takes hits. He takes hits from superpowered people, but if Sam takes a hit, his head is coming off.
I think at this point it is time for him to take the serum.
He needs the fucking serum.
It's like, why not?
Dude, just give it to the guy, please.
He'll still have the same characteristics, I promise you.
See, and here's the thing is like, let's make it like forcefully done to him or something like that. You know what I mean?
It's
like
kind of fucked up though.
It's fucked up, yes, but it would give him an advantage, and also it wouldn't break his character because he's made such a strong point about not wanting the serum. Ooh. So I say somebody does it to him against his will, and that way he gets the serum, but it doesn't break his morals.
Hang on now. That's fucked up. But that could offer an interesting storyline too.
That too.
Ooh, that could offer some adversity to his character.
See what I'm saying?
Some moral decisions. I think you could cook with a story there, because that's a wrong thing to do. But the wrong things push a story forward in a movie.
Yeah, like bro, Bucky didn't want his powers.
Yeah.
Bucky got his powers forcefully too.
Yeah.
But he's able to use that and turn it into a good thing. Sam could do the same thing. God damn it, put me in the fucking writer's room.
I don't know if we'll ever get there, but that could be good.
Dude, why? Every time I see these new MCU and DC movies, I swear to God, I just start fucking cooking with ideas. Because I'm like, you could have done this better. You could have done this different. And I like my imaginary story in my head so much better.
I wonder what goes on in those writer rooms. Like, we just need to get a bunch of
nerds,
bunch of creative nerds, and just like them start just like spitfiring at each other. See what sticks. Because you could cook with that. That offers a unique storyline there. Okay, so we were on Sam Wilson.
God, he needs some fucking super serum, bro.
He needs super serum. The part that cracked me up was, I like the action scenes in this movie, but the one part that did crack me up, because it reminded me of Fate of the Eighth, the 8th Fast and Furious movie, when Sam is essentially surfing on that missile.
Yeah.
Do you remember that? Yeah.
Yeah.
And fucking, it cracked me up in Fate of the Eight because The Rock, I mean, those movies have turned into like superhero movies as well. But when The Rock like pushes over some fucking nuke missile with his fucking leg out of a car door while they're driving on frozen ice. I'm like, this is a joke. So that's just what it reminded me of. So I thought that was funny. What do you think of his new sidekick?
I thought he was kind of annoying.
Annoying.
Yeah.
Like corny.
Yeah.
In a way.
That was another beef I had with this movie. It was a lot of corny lines throughout the movie. I'm like, I don't know, like some of his one-liners, and there were just like moments in the dialogue where I was like, really? There's like nothing more creative you could have come up with. Like even when they were down in the basement, like in the lab.
Yeah.
He was like, Sam just goes, why is there a lab in this prison? And I'm like, you couldn't come up with a more creative way to question. So I don't know. It just like, it seemed like an extremely lazy piece of, why is there a lab in this prison? I'm like, I don't know, bud. Take a fucking look around. You might be able to figure it out.
Yeah.
It just,
so it doesn't
it's just
kind of what you're saying. It doesn't have like that same thriller mystery aspect that, you know, The Winter Soldier had. Like at times it tried to be like that gritty thriller, spy thriller.
Yeah.
But ultimately in the writing room, it just wasn't the same.
It was not. And, you know, I've said that this is a problem for Disney for a while now. Disney just lacks subtlety. They lack subtlety in every sense of the word. So, and what I mean by that is like, so with the writing and the exposition, like they spell everything out for you. It doesn't leave anything up to question for the audience. I feel like they just tell you everything, and it feels like I'm being pandered to. I'm like I'm some child.
I mean, look at the trailer alone. We had to be told that Red Hulk was going to be in this movie. That could have been, because I feel like there's so many different things going on in this movie that you could have leaned on for the trailer. So something could have been a surprise, but we knew about pretty much everything going into this movie. So when that final battle happened with Red Hulk, it was like, okay, we've known this is going to happen for months and months.
Yeah.
So it didn't really feel like a final battle.
No, but yeah, back to the subtlety. It's like, so it's that with the writing, and then also the camera shots, the camera work with Disney is like very,
okay.
It feels like a TV show.
Right.
Feels like a series.
So we were talking about
the lighting
this.
is too bright.
We were talking about this the other day.
Yeah, like because you've been watching Daredevil recently.
Yeah, I've been watching Daredevil on Netflix.
And Daredevil has some amazing camera work and some amazing lighting.
And I'm like, there's no way a Disney Plus show could ever have this much sauce.
No, they can't. And I am so curious for Daredevil Born Again, because if they are able to match that, I give them all the props in the world for getting back to the basics, especially with how they did it for the Netflix show.
Because I feel like with the Disney Plus shows, they think we need to see everything on our TV. And this is where the issue that I think streaming has been a problem for cinematography and movies and TV shows, but movies specifically, because they think we want to see everything that's happening on the screen because everyone's watching these movies on their TV at home. They're not going to the theaters as much. They're waiting until these movies are put on streaming services. So they're making these movies to format your TV, not a movie theater screen.
Okay.
So I think that's where we've kind of like a lot of movies or a lot of big production companies have gotten away from really making a movie for the big screen, not our TV screen. And I'm not saying there aren't any movies like that these days. We've seen plenty movies over the years that have been amazing on the big screen and only for the big screen. But I feel like with the big streaming companies like Disney, you know, they are making these movies with, you know, hindsight that it's going to end up on Disney Plus streaming as their moneymaker, you know? So
I don't know. It's just like, I feel like the camera work just like lacks these grand shots like they used to. And like, bro, even when he was like talking Hulk down, when he was talking Ross down.
That was a reshoot for sure.
It was bad.
That was bad.
Like, it was literally like I was looking at him in portrait mode because he was focused on everything behind him is blurry.
But not just like a portrait mode. It was like your iPhone camera portrait mode.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, dude, I saw that. I was like, what am I watching right now?
Yeah.
This literally looks like I could have recorded it with my iPhone.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, it didn't have that film camera look to it. No, that seemed like a reshoot.
Yeah. I don't know. These are things that just distract me away from the movie. And I'm like thinking about the production process and everything like that. And it's like, I shouldn't do that. Like the way I know something is really good is like when I'm just completely encapsulated.
Right.
And, you know, I'm focused on the characters and I'm focused on the story. And, you know, that's all, like, it should be like a real connection. Like, I feel like I'm dealing with real people.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
that's just, honestly, it's funny. You know, you say you focus on cinematography and all this other stuff and music. And it's like, I feel like when I focus on that stuff, I don't like the movie as much because it means I'm not as invested in the characters.
Right.
So I'm getting distracted.
Right.
And I'm focusing on other parts.
Well, because here's the thing too. I was talking to our friend the other day in a group chat and we were talking about, you know, Brave New World and how, you know, he was going to go into the movie obviously with an open mind. He's been looking forward to the movie, but he hates like hearing the opinions. I guess you could say, you know, snobby opinions about like Marvel's cinematography and stuff like that. Like he doesn't want to hear that. And that's fine. But here's the thing is like when cinematography is great, even as a you know, average moviegoer, if you're not paying attention to it, it's something you subconsciously can feel.
You can pick up on it.
You can pick up.
Even if you don't know what it is.
You know when a movie looks gorgeous. Now, you may not know when there's bad cinematography, but you know when a movie looks gorgeous because you can just feel it.
Mm-hmm.
So it's something that's just subconsciously you feel even as an average moviegoer. So even though cinematography may not be as important for you for these MCU films, it is still something that at the end of the day, you're going to subconsciously feel.
Yeah. But I mean, I had problems with not just that. Like there was clearly I had plenty of problems with story and characters and how they chose to let it go. Maybe I wasn't letting go of my preconceived notions of how I thought some of these characters were going to be portrayed. And that's like what's hurting my image of it. But
okay. Okay, well, speaking of other characters, should they have cut Ruth Bat Saraf, otherwise known as Sabra, played by Shira Haas, from the movie?
I mean, she provided like some conflict with, you know, like doing the research and stuff. I feel, God, now that you say it, there are a lot of similarities to Winter Soldier in this movie.
Right.
Because like Winter Soldier was him and Black Widow just like investigating, trying to figure out what happened and you know, like why S.H.I.E.L.D. turned on them while they're also running from S.H.I.E.L.D. So, and in this they're running from Ruth because he's doing this like off the books.
Yeah, but you just feel the threat, the level of the threat in Winter Soldier, man.
Because I'm like, who the fuck is Ruth?
Right.
You know, we're just getting introduced to this character for the first time. And like, they always, like, I feel like, yes, they talk about her. They're like, oh, she's out of the Red Room. She trained with Black Widow. I'm like, okay. I'm still not that scared.
Yeah. So her character was one that definitely had to go through rewrites and reshoots as well because of her character and like the political climate as well with Israel and Palestine. So that was a big... Yeah, because her character is Israeli and was like in the Israeli military, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, that was a huge political topic for this movie that definitely had to go through some rewrites. So there was that they had to work around, and then, like you were saying, I just don't feel the threat. I'm sorry. In the comics, she's 5'11".
Yeah.
220 pounds, something like that.
And in this one, it seemed like she was 4'11".
4'11" and like 100 pounds.
Yeah.
And in the comics, she does have like mutant powers with super strength.
Does she?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it doesn't seem like she had that super strength in here. And I'm like, well, if you're going to make her that small, then maybe you should give her some super strength.
Yeah, I feel like that would have been the thing is like, yeah, she's tiny, but it was supposed to be like misleading.
Because look, I'm sorry. I don't care how good of a fighter you are. I'm not going to believe that someone that small is like throwing these 6'5", 240-pound soldiers around like rag dolls.
Yeah.
Sure, she could beat them the fuck up. That's fine.
But you got to change the fighting style.
Exactly. You got to change the fighting style.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think at one point she literally like lifted up this one dude. I'm like, all right.
Seriously?
Maybe not lifted up. She put someone in the air. Yeah.
Jesus, bro. Dude, you with that small of a person, you gotta do like a fucking X-23 type of fighter,
right?
Like what we saw in Logan.
Yeah,
like she is, rapping onto people like a spider monkey and just beating the crap out of them relentlessly.
Yeah, it's funny because
I don't know.
I also feel like I didn't know jack shit about her character as well.
Yeah, I didn't.
Which again, that could have been
good character to like explore.
I'm just saying that might have been a result of them having to do rewrites. Of us not really knowing shit about her character, but
I think like a lot of I get that this is like, whenever I try to question the logistics of superhero stuff, people are like, oh, it's a superhero movie isn't realistic and all. Like I always get that comment, but it's like things do need to make sense in universe. Like there is some sense of logic in your brain that has to make sense when you're watching these things on screen. And I feel like there was too much that I was like questioning during fight scenes where I was like, I feel like that probably wouldn't happen.
Did you like the aerial fight scene?
I thought that,
around Celestial.
I thought it was good.
Celestial Island, they called it. Celestial.
I know what you mean.
Okay,
but yeah,
that was good.
Yeah, I like that. Good. I like that scene. That was like the most Falcon part of the movie.
Yeah.
I will say one thing that I thought was cool was like when he flew down. See, but here's another problem. When he flew down,
I already know what you're talking about.
And the sound wave like came down and knocked everybody away. I thought that was dope as hell.
It's dope.
His legs would shatter.
Yeah.
Like right off the bat, I was like, give this man the fucking serum, and I will not say a word.
Yeah.
I will not say a damn word.
Yeah, because it is badass.
It's awesome. It looks so cool. But I'm like, he does not have superhuman legs. Those legs would shatter. People break their legs landing on a parachute or with a parachute.
They would have snapped.
They would have snapped.
They would have snapped.
Like they didn't even like blunt. He didn't even like blunt it with the jetpack. It was just like boom, and then here comes the air.
Yeah,
it makes no sense.
Here's a funny thing: a really amazing actor is also in this movie. That we haven't even talked about yet. Giancarlo Esposito as Sidewinder.
Yeah,
was he necessary?
I mean, they didn't really like. I mean. I guess they didn't really need Giancarlo Esposito to play the character.
Right.
Because, I mean, I love him as an actor, but yeah, he was a relatively like small role in this movie. It was like all he played was just like this, this dealer.
Mm-hmm.
And
then gives him information.
Yeah.
Yeah, he wasn't in it too much.
No. I thought he might have played a bigger role. But
Yeah, I thought he was going to play a bigger role.
Yeah.
And then let's get around to Tim Blake Nelson returning as Samuel Stearns, aka the leader from The Incredible Hulk.
That we're following up on almost 20 years later.
Holy
shit. It's like what, 17 years? 17 years.
Yeah. 2008, years. 2025. Oh my God. I'm shocked they even attempted that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fuck, I hate time.
Yeah, that's disgusting.
Oh, that's disgusting.
So this is the antagonist of the movie.
Blake, did you know we're as far away from
2040
as we are 2010?
Yeah, that's disgusting. Yeah, that's crazy.
Okay, sorry, continue.
I was just saying, he's our antagonist of the film. It's a very lackluster antagonist.
Yeah.
I didn't give a shit about him.
I did not care.
Yeah,
Yeah, but I kind of, like I'm saying, like I kind of wish his plan worked. I wish his plan worked.
Yeah.
And it would have started some conflict. And then Ross would have been off the rails.
Yeah.
And I feel like that would have been a great fight.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I would have rather him exploded on the ship like they were showing, not at the White House. I thought that would have been sick. But right after, right after his fight with, Japan in the air, and then the next thing he knows, he's got a fucking Red Hulk.
Yeah.
And then and imagine that fight if they were fighting around the Celestial Island.
Ooh, yeah.
And it would have been a lot more aerial combat. I don't know. To me, I felt like we were building up, and that would have been a good climax. And then like they just kind of like brought it back down, and then we had like another climax later when he blew up at the press conference.
Well, it's funny because he was like he turned himself in as part of his plan, but then his plan still failed, and it like left him nowhere.
Yeah.
There's like no point of himself turning himself in.
All about the statistics and the calculations.
Yeah. Did you like the design
of what?
His character?
The leader?
Yeah.
I mean, like, I'm pretty sure that's like what he's supposed to look like.
No, he's supposed to have a big ass head.
Oh, is it supposed to be bigger?
Yeah. Supposed to have a big ass head.
I knew he had a big head, but I mean, like, he did have a big head, but I guess not as comically big as people wanted. I mean, I don't really know too much about the leader, so I didn't really have like a problem with any like comic book inaccuracies because I didn't really have anything to compare to, but
right. Yeah, I'm just really shocked that they really attempted to follow up on that 15 years later.
I think a lot of this was just like too much in too short a time.
Yeah, it's compared to other Marvel movies, it is very short.
Yeah.
It's only an hour and 48 minutes, and the first opening 10 minutes is just like a rehash, specifically a rehash just to catch you up to what's currently going on.
Yeah.
And then the next 20 to 30 minutes is, exposition.
Yeah.
So.
Now, I think they were just like I said, they just like kind of like established a lot without any background. Like, even Bucky, like, they threw him in, and here's Bucky in a fucking suit and tie.
Yeah.
And he's on his way to a political.
Right.
So
they made sure they established that he's like in Congress now.
Yeah. I'm like, the fuck is the Winter Soldier doing right now?
Right.
This is the Winter Soldier, Bucky Barnes, and he's a congressman now or trying to become one. I was thrown for a loop at that. I'm like, since when was this a thing? Since when was him running for office a thing?
Just now in Captain America Brave New World. So if you miss those 30 seconds, you're fucked.
Yeah, and they just threw that in. I was like, okay. So that, I don't know. It was just a lot of here. This is what's happening now.
Right. I've also heard or what could have been a good theory or switch up. Instead of Ross's right-hand girl, Sabra, instead of her, it could have been Sharon Carter.
Yeah.
Who people forget becomes like bad.
Well, that already happened.
In Falcon and Winter Soldier, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But we haven't seen her since that.
That's what I'm saying. What is she doing? Are we ever going to see her again?
I don't know. But that wouldn't have made sense for her character technically, because I think she's like running the underworld at that place.
Yeah, right. Like she's wanted, I think, now, right?
Yeah. Like they wouldn't have been able to have her in like an official legal position.
I thought that was also a weird decision in Falcon and Winter Soldier.
What, to make her a bad guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, she probably does in the comics.
Yeah. I have I don't know a lot about her character either. But yeah, I don't know. It's just, I definitely felt underwhelmed by this entire movie, just to put it plainly.
I'm trying to think of another MCU movie that I would put it on the level of. Like, maybe like, I was going to say original Thor.
I don't know about that. I'd say,
I'm trying to think also of like a similar movie that has like a movie that has the similar formula that this one had. Ant-Man and the Wasp? No, I fucking hate that movie. I like Brave New World better.
Iron Man 2?
I was thinking that.
I kept thinking Iron Man 2. It's like as far as how much I like the movie, I feel like that's what it's on par with.
Iron Man 2 did set up a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
Introducing Fury, Black Widow, New Element, Don Cheadle's, War Machine,
the bad guy,
Whiplash.
Yeah.
Whiplash. The Iron Man 2 does establish a lot of stuff for sure.
Mm-hmm. Justin Hammer. Yeah, I keep thinking like Iron Man 2.
Yeah, I would say closer to Iron Man 2 for sure.
His sidekick's gonna have fucking Wakandan gear the next time we see him. Everybody's got Wakandan gear.
I'm like, sucks that I wasn't expecting that video to blow up on TikTok and it did, and now we're getting shit for it.
Why are we getting shit for it?
I don't know.
We're fucking right.
Yeah, I think I don't think his sidekick should get Wakandan gear.
That's what he was talking about in the hospital.
Yeah.
He said, well, my wings are busted. You want to
I know.
Text your buddies in Wakanda? Hook me up with an upgrade for the suit?
University of Miami is canon now in the MCU too.
Yeah, I saw that. I thought that was strange.
Did they throw you out of the Marvel loop?
No, but I was just like, why the fuck is he wearing that? And then we found out he's from Miami.
Yeah, why the fuck else would he be wearing that? What do you think? He's just a U fan for the hell of it?
I don't know. People cheer for sports teams for a bunch of weird reasons.
You think University of Miami gave them a little money for a product placement?
Oh, I noticed a lot of product placement in this movie.
GMC, baby.
Yeah.
Hey, that truck was badass.
Yeah, it was. And the Hummer EV, there was blatant product placement in this movie.
I guess the reshoot's got to be funded somehow.
I guess.
Here's a question. Where we go from here? Let's talk about the post-credit scene.
The extremely ambiguous end credit scene. Bro, that shit was such a waste of my time. I stayed for that.
I like how they saved that one to the very end as well.
Oh, I know. They couldn't even do it at the mid-credits. I looked it up. There's one at the very end. I was like, if anything, they put it at the mid-credit scene and then don't do a final one. Why did they leave this to the very end?
The very end. Yeah, that was just Samuel Stern saying, there's something coming. Like,
what?
Bitch, we know something's coming. You know why? Because Feige has announced Avengers Doomsday and all that other shit. Like, we know something's coming already.
Yeah.
You don't got to tell us in a post-credit scene.
It's terrible. And it didn't offer any kind of detail
or
why he knows about it.
No. It's just, something's coming.
That was so bad. That was probably one of the worst end credit scenes I've ever seen.
It might be one of the worst end credit scenes for sure. I guess it's kind of saying like to Sam, hey, maybe you really do need to put a new Avengers team together.
Yeah.
But it's like, I think that's the main idea.
But it was
for that
so unnecessary because we already knew that that's what he's planned on doing.
Correct. I know. It's because we already know Avengers is coming, and I guess we got to get there somehow. Very ambiguous post-credit scene, like you said.
Yeah.
Definitely don't need to stay for it.
No.
That's for damn sure.
I think I'm just exhausted. I'm
that was gonna come out in 2 weeks, and we're gonna be like, we're so back.
I'm really not. I don't know. It's gonna take a lot of consistency for me to believe in Marvel again, like I used to. I don't know. I just like I'm exhausted of like going into these movies and like every time I come out, like I have so many issues with it. Like I'm sick of that. It's been a while since I walked into a Marvel movie and I walked out and I was like, wow, I love that. No notes.
No notes.
I've never had that. I haven't had that happen in so long. And so I'm just like exhausted of being disappointed.
All right. Disappointed Marvel fan. I gave it 2.5 stars.
It's like literally right in the middle. It's right in the middle.
Okay.
That's a perfect spot for it.
Okay.
But I do have my Captain America suit ranking here. I know you do as well.
I do too. Yep.
All right. Who you want to go first?
Captain America suit ranking. Who should go first? I think Captain America has had, honestly, great suits.
Yeah. No, like it's not a drastic drop off.
No, it's not at all. But without further ado, I'll let you go first. What is your Captain America suit ranking?
Oh, thanks. I appreciate that so much. At number 11, I do have the Avengers suit in 2012. Yeah, pardon my voice crack there. But yeah, that like there's nothing more you need to say. It's obviously very comic accurate. When the helmet's off, It's not as bad.
It's not as bad.
It's not as bad. But when that helmet's on, yikes.
I don't like it.
No. This might cause some controversy. At number 10, I do have Sam's Falcon and Winter Soldier suit.
Ew. Oh, that is low.
It's low. Dude, I don't know. I don't like the cowl. I like when he just has the glasses.
Well, Anthony Mackie didn't like it either. That's why I said don't do it next time.
I did hear him talk about that. He said it would fog up the lenses because it would like get the heat would like come up through the neck and get in the glasses. The white is screaming at me. I
like the white. I'm not saying it's the best suit, but I like the white.
I was not a huge fan. You know, like I was kind of, some of this I was thinking about it like, would I rather pick that one or that one if I was Captain America and I wanted a suit? I would not pick this one.
Okay.
At number 9, I do have John Walker's suit.
Okay.
I thought, I mean, I like the U.S. agent suit like that because that's what it is. It's he becomes U.S. agent, and I like the shape of the flag. It looks cool. I like the lines. I thought it looked tactical. One thing I don't like is the A styled as a star. I'm not a fan of that logo. Like, bro, just give the man a star. I would have been happier with that. At number 8, I do have the propaganda suit, which is from the first Avengers. When he was doing his tour as a singing monkey, as he saw himself. You know, it's obviously very comic accurate. It was very self-aware of what it was, but honestly, it looked good.
It's because Chris Evans filled that shit out.
Yes, he did, and it looked good.
Yeah.
Number 7, I have the Age of Ultron suit.
Okay.
So this one, I thought the colors were a bit too bright. It was a little bit too much of the white and red on there for me. I know as I was doing this ranking, I noticed I liked it when it was a bit more sleek, darker colors, and this one was just like a little bit too bright for me. It even had like they even threw some red accents on the star, and I was like you don't need all that. It was just doing too much. Number 6, I have his first Avenger suit. This one holds a special place in my heart. I love the padded look. It's obviously very 1940s. It to me, it was just like a perfect fitting suit for the time. This is back in the beginning stages of Marvel, and for the beginning stages of Marvel, I was like, y'all killed it on the first try. Yeah. Like I thought that was perfect, and I loved seeing it come back for Winter Soldier as well when he needed a suit, and he stole it from the museum, and we get a great Stan Lee cameo out of that.
That's right. It's a very war-esque.
Yes, very war-esque. I love it. Number 5, I do have Captain America Brave New World, his new suit in this one. I think people keep saying, oh, this is way too reminiscent of Steve's suit. It's not Sam's. And I'm like, yeah. And I'm like, I have no problem with that. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I've loved pretty much every version of Chris Evans Captain America suits. So if it's reminiscent of a good thing, why is that a bad thing? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally agree. Like the foundation is there.
Yeah. And also I thought this was like it looks like a good combo of kind of like the Winter Soldier suit and his other iterations with, you know, like the black and white or I mean with the red and white stripes. I had absolutely no problem with that suit. It goes back to the goggle look. I think the goggles are better than the stupid cowl. So yeah, no, Captain America Brave New World, I thought they did a great job with his new suit, and I hope he wears it for a little bit. Number 4, I do have the Infinity War suit with the star missing, that banged up look after Civil War.
Okay.
Because, you know, he doesn't have Tony, lost access.
Nomad suit.
Yeah, his nomad suit. He lost access to all the resources. He's got the beard. He's got no helmet. It's just a...
Okay, are we including...
facial
features?
It's a different Captain America look completely. But, I mean, the suit is still badass. Yeah. And bro, God, do I miss some battle damage suits. Yeah. I've been hearing people talk about that too. We are lacking the battle damage suits in superhero stuff lately. And at number 3, no surprise because it's technically the same suit that we just saw. It is the Civil War suit because that is the Civil War suit,
right?
Battle damaged. And what's crazy is, so I have the Age of Ultron suit at number 7. Number 3, I have the Civil War suit, and they are very similar.
They're very similar, but there is a difference.
There is a difference. And the Civil War suit just does it way better to me. Because like on the sleeves, he had for Age of Ultron, he had red and white.
Yeah.
Versus on this, it's just like these red accents.
Yeah, there's like red lining in the Age of Ultron on the chest as well.
Yes, and they took that away for the Civil. Like it's just the star in the middle. And even the red and white on his stomach is muted a little bit more. It's not so bright. I don't know. Like I think they just took that Age of Ultron suit and they just made little tiny tweaks and it came out perfect for Civil War. So I love the Civil War suit a lot. Number 2, I do have the Winter Soldier suit.
Okay.
Winter Soldier, that stealth suit is fire. Honestly, it might be my number 1, but it is more, it could have been my number 1, but it is more of just like his Agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. suit.
Yeah.
It's not quite Captain America, you know?
Right.
As much as I love it, it's just not quite Captain America, but God, did they kill it with the design for that. It was perfect for the movie and what was happening. Loved it. And then number 1, it's got to be Endgame, bro. Like Endgame just had it just had everything. It had everything that I loved. And, you know, it took that comic look, you know, like where it has the feather, the
scale padding.
The scale padding. Like, I didn't know how well they were going to be able to translate that into live action, but oh my God, did they fucking kill it?
Looks great.
It looks so good in Endgame. And yeah, like I honestly, like I just have no notes. Like the fact that they were able to translate so well from the comics to live action was just amazing to see. And it had a lot of the other aspects that I talked about that I love from the Civil War suit as well. So it's a great Endgame suit is amazing.
Great final look send off for Chris Evans, Captain America.
Yes.
All right. Well, here's my ranking of the Captain America suits that we've seen in the MCU. Number 11 in last place, I do also have the Avengers 2012 suit. I've always disliked that suit since the very beginning.
I think everybody has. Just squeezes them a little too tight.
I will say, best part about that suit, it does show off America's ass.
America's ass.
Number 10, I have his propaganda suit from the first Avenger.
Okay.
Honestly, it's not even that it's a bad suit because he does fit it good.
He does fit it good, bro.
His shoulders and triceps really pop out in it. But at the end of the day, it's still a propaganda suit. Number 9, I'm going to go with the John Walker suit.
Okay.
I think the helmet on this suit takes it down for me for sure.
I agree.
If he didn't have that helmet, it might be a little higher, but not a bad suit for Agent Walker. Number 8, I'm going to go Sam's first suit from Falcon and Winter Soldier. I don't hate this suit. I like the white. It offers a new primary color for a Captain America suit.
I get what you're saying, yeah.
And I get like the neck thing isn't,
I'm not a fan of the cowl.
The cowl isn't, we don't need the cowl, and that's fine. But I do like that it switched up the primary color for this Captain America suit. It's not the worst suit. 7, I'm going to go as Nomad suit from Infinity War.
Really?
Yeah.
Dang, that's low. That's low for the Nomad suit.
I don't think it's that low.
I like it.
Like, I don't know. You got the sleeves rolled up and the hand gloves.
Yeah. And he's got the Black Panther shit. I like the Nomad suit.
I'm not saying I don't like it. Look, there's probably about 8 to 9 suits on here that I like.
All right. Next one.
Number 6, I'm going to go as Age of Ultron suit.
Okay.
Very similar to Civil War, but like we were talking about the different, little details here and there.
Yeah, they tweaked it just right.
In Civil War. Number 5, I do have his first Avenger suit.
Nice.
Very War-esque. I think they did nail it for a 1940s Captain America suit.
It was perfect.
For the first rendition that we see on the big screen, it looked fantastic.
It was so good.
Number 4, I do have Sam's second suit that we do see in Brave New World. So you're saying people didn't like this one?
I've been hearing some controversy. They're like, oh, it's too reminiscent of Chris Evans' Captain America. I'm like, what is wrong with that? He's still Captain America.
And
and Chris Evans' suits were dope.
Yeah, they were perfect. And I think Sam's suit in Brave New World just has the perfect amount of like change. That looks great.
And they took away the white, which is what I didn't like. So
3 3, I have his suit in Civil War. Seemed to be his longest running suit that he had. Yeah. At this point, it's just a preference now, but like, there's really no beating these suits. This top three, there's no beating these Captain America suits.
Nah,
they just nailed them.
They're all fire.
2, I do have Endgame. I really love that they do pull off the scale padding on his chest.
Yeah.
It just screamed like MCU Captain America and comics Captain America at the same time.
Yeah.
The perfect final look for Chris Evans, Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
Good battle damage on that suit too.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that's the other thing. That they did do some battle damage for that.
Number 1, I do have the Winter Soldier stealth suit.
All right.
I think I'm just a sucker for the navy, the silver, the dark navy and the silver just looks so sleek. He fills it out so good. There's no helmet. I'm not a huge fan of helmets.
He wears a helmet with that?
Oh, you're right. He does.
In the beginning,
In the beginning.
Yeah.
But he takes it off for the majority of the time.
Majority of the movie, yes.
Elevator scene, it's
because
off.
he gets like attacked out of nowhere.
Yes.
He wasn't ready for it. Well, he was ready, but clearly didn't have the helmet on him.
But no, this suit looks damn good. I also love the brown belt accents as well.
Yeah.
So it's kind of just screams the colors that I like in a suit.
Yeah. See, like I definitely picked the Endgame as my number 1 out of like, this is Captain America.
I get what you mean. The Endgame suit just screams Captain America.
Yes.
And I think Winter Soldier is just
a personal preference. It's just slick and awesome.
But speaking of Captain America, we talk about the whole fucking time.
Yeah. Speaking of Captain America, like this isn't a whole fucking review.
I feel like I already know what this answer is for you, but how would you rank the Captain America movies?
Oh, yeah, that's pretty easy. Yeah. This newest one is going to be last in 4th place. In 3rd, it's going to be the first Avenger. 2nd is going to be see, this does get tough, but no.
Top 2 is tough, but come on.
But it's Civil War and then Winter Soldier
at the top.
Winter Soldier on top.
Winter Soldier at the top.
God, that's got some of the best hand-to-hand combat I've ever seen. I love it so much.
MCU, yeah.
In the MCU for sure.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with the top 2, whatever you want to place them at.
I think like I feel like people knock Civil War down because they're like, oh, it's Avengers 2.0 or Avengers 2.5. Yeah. And they're right. I agree. It did become like an Avengers movie. Yeah. It is still Captain America centered though. Like I don't have a problem with it.
And see, I think that's where Brave New World kind of took a step back with, they weren't able to really balance out the runtime as much as I thought they would. Because even though, it is Avengers 2.5, it is very much so. Because what is it? It's Team Cap. It's Team Iron Man. So Cap is still a very integral part in everything that's going on.
Yeah. So now I like Civil War a lot, but Winter Soldier, bro.
Winter Soldier,
like, and that's my favorite version of Bucky.
You know what? I think the music boosted up for me too. Winter Soldier's theme during that fight scene,
so good.
Ooh,
so good.
It is really good,
bro. He was a scary presence.
Yeah,
Bucky was a scary presence. I loved it. And when I was a kid and I didn't know anything about comics, and that reveal, Bucky, oh my god, so good, so good.
It was good. Speaking of Civil War, for Captain America: Civil War, were you Team Cap or Team Iron Man?
I think I was Team Iron Man, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, like, I didn't see it as like a wrong thing because I'm like, he's like kind of got a point. Y'all are just like, freaking nuclear weapons with no guidance system, kind of. Like, you can kind of do what you want. Because, I mean, when you think about the legality of the whole thing, like from a realistic perspective, it's like there needs to be some kind of checks and balances on people with all this power.
Yeah.
And Tony understood that. And, and to me, I was just looking at Cap as like kind of this like naive ass. He was like, the best hands are our own. I'm like, okay, and like, look, like, I get it. You're Captain America. You're Steve Rogers. I know that you are an extremely morally good person, but nobody is going to have that amount of trust in a single person, especially when it's not like an elected figure or something like that. Like nobody said, nobody voted and said, here, Captain America, we're going to make you the leader and put you in charge. And this is America where that's not supposed to happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I knew I was Team Iron Man the moments that Tony said, I don't care, he killed my mom. I said, you're damn right.
Yeah, that too. It was like, I mean, I was thinking more of like the Sokovia Accords part of it. But
I know.
Like, because I was on Tony's side from that to begin with. But then, with
then
the whole Bucky reveal, I was like, okay, no, Tony's kind of in the right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't care. He killed my mom. Yeah,
like, shit, I would have the same mentality.
Pretty valid.
To fuck him up.
Yeah, and he lied to him about it. Like that's fucked.
He knew.
He knew.
He knew.
I didn't know it was him. Don't bullshit me, Rogers. Did you know? Yes.
Come on, man.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, I was definitely team Iron Man.
I will tell you though, bro, that acting between Chris Evans and RDJ in that scene. Fire.
Miss it.
Chef's kiss. I miss it so much. I miss it so much.
Well, guess what, Garrett? RDJ is coming back.
Shut the fuck up.
And maybe Chris Evans too. Who the fuck knows?
Dude, they clearly are getting the vibe that we're not loving the new MCU. They're like, all right, we got to bring the old guys back.
Yeah. Not the best movie, not the worst movie in terms of the MCU. I think it's very average. Like we said, both got it right in the middle, 2.5 out of 5.
So is it me, or do the new Marvel movies just like not quite hit the same as old Marvel?
Here's the thing. I don't think they're ever going to hit the same.
I don't think they are ever going to hit the same. But I think I came up with a rating system that kind of puts each movie in the right place. So I'm going to call this is called the Iron Man 3 scale. Is it better?
Iron Man 3 scale.
Is it better or worse than Iron Man 3? That's the question.
What if you hold Iron Man 3 in a high regard?
How do you hold Iron Man 3?
I don't think this is a fair scale.
I think it kind of is. I feel like Iron Man 3 is it's like a perfect.
Oh man.
It's like a perfect, good, enjoyable Marvel movie, but it's not like overly rated. I think it's underrated.
Okay, let's test the scale.
So let's start with the most recent one, Captain America: Brave New World. Better or worse than Iron Man 3?
I would say as of right now, worse. Because I think Iron Man 3 is one of those Marvel movies that kind of just grows on you the more you watch it.
Yeah.
So
it's amazing how rewatchable Iron Man 3 is, actually.
So I would say worse as of right now.
Okay. Madness of the Multiverse. Or Multiverse of Madness.
People aren't going to like this answer at all.
Let's hear it.
I might say worse.
Worse?
Yeah.
Honestly, I think most people might agree with that.
I don't think so.
Really? Because I agree. I think Iron Man 3 is better than Multiverse of Madness.
Which is kind of crazy, but...
Yeah. All right. Wakanda Forever.
Better than Iron Man 3.
Yeah. I'll agree with you on that one. This is going to be interesting, actually. Deadpool and Wolverine. Better or worse than Iron Man 3? I feel like this is a tough one because obviously this one caught a lot of people with the nostalgia and the cameos.
Cameo galore.
And, it's funny, but like when you break this thing down as like a movie, it's not the best.
And to be honest, I'm going to hit rewatch on Iron Man 3 over Deadpool and Wolverine. I would say Iron Man 3. Now, is that saying just because you rewatch it more, is it a better movie? That's another discussion. But here's
the thing though.
I like Iron Man 3.
I feel like at the end of the day, what's important about a movie, especially a Marvel movie, is like how much it keeps you captivated. You know what I mean? Like, and I will say there is like never a time when I'm watching Iron Man 3 where I'm like bored with it.
Yeah, it's a fun time.
I'm never bored with Iron Man 3.
It's Iron Man in a totally different ballpark. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They totally switch it up. And I feel like there's a lot of good banter in Iron Man 3 as well.
There is. I feel like there's a lot of great chemistry with that entire cast. I think I kind of want to lean Iron Man 3 as well. All right, next. The Marvels. Better or worse than Iron Man 3?
What is this Iron Man 3 standard I'm suddenly on? Yeah, I'd say worse than Iron Man 3.
Mm-hmm. And last but not least, Black Widow. That's definitely worse.
I'd say worse than Iron Man 3.
Definitely worse.
Maybe I didn't realize how
good Iron Man 3 was?
How high of a standard I have Iron Man 3, but
See, but here's the thing though. We talk about Iron Man 3 and compare that to other MCU movies from that like era.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of those movies that I would put above Iron Man 3.
Yeah.
Because Iron Man 3 really isn't, it's not the best MCU movie. But what does that say about all this new shit coming out? You know what I mean?
And there lies the question.
Like that's what's strange to me, because I feel like Iron Man 3 just had gotten talked so... People talk down about Iron Man 3 so much, but I just like compared it to all these new ones coming out, and I'm just like, why am I taking this movie over all these new ones? That, to me, I'm like, that's a problem.
You know, and I've been really wanting to give the whole MCU another rewatch just to see if some of those older movies do fall into that category that these new movies have, where they just, you know, aren't as good as we once thought they were. Because at one point we held the MCU to a very high standard, but there was definitely a formula going on that just worked, and it was still, you know, new. While it was still the same formula over time and time again, it was still something new because it was still such a cohesive story over everything. Like the big story of it all, the grand story of it all was still very cohesive, and it was all leading to a certain point. Now we don't really know where these movies are leading. Now Brave New World kind of shed some light on where this could possibly lead to, but even then, so it didn't do the best job at like, okay, but what's really next? Like, it touched up on some things.
Dude, that end credits. I can't.
We'll talk about the end credits scene. Therein lies the question: is what really is missing? Maybe it's
missing that heart.
Maybe,
you know?
that's what I was about to say. Maybe it's just the heart of it all.
They don't have the.
Maybe it's the heart of it.
I can't feel the love through the screen anymore.
Right. I know what you mean.
Because like it feels like corporate Disney sticking their fingers into too many things. Because I can't be talking too much shit about Disney right now.
No. That's why I'm gonna put this on the podcast episode and not the TikTok.
Yeah.
Because you bring up heart. Like, I can go back and watch Guardians of the Galaxy and I can feel the heart at the end of that movie. You know?
Yeah.
So I know what you mean. I can watch Guardians 2 and feel the heart in that movie.
I think that's just been the case with a lot of MCU movies lately, you know.
But look here, I mean, it's still a movie that I wouldn't knock people for liking.
Yeah, like it's got good elements in there, for sure.
And I'm glad it's doing well at the box office.
I feel like it's just a lot of like my personal preference that is taking a lot of this down.
Yeah.
And obviously like the whole unrealistic superhero feats that I'm seeing, like, bro, I'm just give the man the serum and I'll shut the hell up.
Right.
That's kind of where I'm at right now.
Yeah.
And I think, bro, I feel like I get he was like kind of joking, like he was like, Bucky's full of shit. I should have taken that serum.
He's dead serious.
See, like, yeah, no, it was like, it's just like some kind of sly comment, but I'm like, is he, like, he might be at the point where he's like, dude, I need this.
Yeah.
Like, I can't continue to do this job and not die.
You expect me to go up against a Hulk with no serum?
Yeah.
No.
Like, bro, he tore those wings off. I would have crapped my pants. Yeah. I was like, that's all I have. Yeah. That's all I have.
When he tore one wing off and I was like, oh shit, he's cooked.
He's cooked. I was like, there's no way you survive.
Yeah. But he did, because he needs to bring the Avengers back.
Yeah. So,
all right. Well, let us know in the comments what you thought of Captain America: Brave New World. Please give us a rating and review wherever you're listening to this episode, on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, you name it. And as always, if you want bonus podcast episodes, make sure to check out our Patreon. Our latest episode of Patreon was our MegaCon recap, and the next upcoming Patreon episode is a Epcot World Showcase ranking, where we rank every country at Epcot, thanks to Garrett's viral video of him drinking around the world. People seem to like Drunk Garrett. We might have to do drunk reviews for the Patreon at some point.
Yeah, I'll just get fucked up before I get on camera.
I'll get fucked up too. So if you want some good content coming up, make sure to join our Patreon as well and join our community. But thanks again for listening to this review, and we'll see y'all next time on DuckTakes.
See you guys.